I'm Rafael Magana, founder of Latina Professionals, and it's my great pleasure to give you this evening's closing remarks and recognize our Latina Professionals Leadership in Action Awards. Latina Professionals grew out of an idea of wanting to create a community like no other, where all women can connect, thrive, succeed, and uplift each other into executive leadership roles. Fast forward to today, Latina Professionals is now one of the fastest and largest growing communities across the US. I could not be more proud of what we have achieved together. Our national platform showcases the contributions of US Latinas across all industries. Latina Professionals is focused on changing the narrative of who Latinas are in this country and the barriers that are being broken every day. We know that Latinas will be the driver and growth of the economy for the next decades to come. And we are inspired by women throughout history who have forged their own path, like the first US Supreme Court Justice Sotomayor. Ellen Ochoa, the first Hispanic woman to go to space as part of a 9-day mission aboard the Space Shuttle Discovery in 1993. Dolores Huerta, an outstanding labor leader and civil rights activist who co-founded the National Farm Workers Association along with Cesar Chavez, now known as the United Farm Workers of America. Latina Professionals is dedicated to leading today's women to create many more first by starting their own business, stepping into leadership roles, serving on boards, and asking for the raises that they deserve. I strongly believe that we must put the rights of women and girls at the center stage to advance equity, and this is something that we have to do by working together. Gender equality and women's empowerment should be a reflection as a standalone goal integrated through targets and measurable indicators in corporate America. Because when we advance women, we advance equity. And I can proudly say that throughout our initiatives such as Latinas of Influence, Latina Equal Pay, Latinas in the Boardroom, and many of our other programs, we are fulfilling that promise. Now let's go back to the beginning. I remember having a conversation with my lovely wife and co-founder, Kimberly, about wanting to trademark the organization's name in 2019 when we started to grow. I worked with our lawyer and we filed all the necessary forms to process our application with the US Patents and Trademarks Office. On December 7th, 2020, the US Patent and Trademark Office issued a letter of initial refusal to register our mark based on the likelihood that it would be confusing, particularly the LP shape of our pre-existing brand already was registered of all things licorice pizza. Can you believe it? This was a very devastating setback. Why? Because at the time, it meant I had two options. Number one, I can change our name altogether to something else. Option number two, I would have to dispute the findings and the decision. That weekend, I went to my mother for advice and shared with her the uphill battle that we were facing. I remember her words. She said, "Rafael, your whole life you have been surrounded by strong women around you. Your aunts, your tías, your cousins, tus primas, your sister. And do you know what your grandmother Sara would say right now? El que quiere, puede. He or she who wants it, will." It was my grandmother's saying, just do it. Many of you might not know the story of Nike Just Do It slogan, which was originally created in 1987 and later used in 1995 in a campaign aimed at women who played sports. The commercial started with a series of girls and young women speaking directly into the camera and pronouncing statements such as, "If you let me play sports, I will like myself more. I will have more self-confidence. I will be 60% less likely to get breast cancer. I will suffer less depression." Concluding the commercial with, "I will learn what it means to be strong." And then the commercial ended with the words, "Just do it." So I like to say that my grandmother was onto something in my books and I think she kind of beat Nike to the punch. Empowered by my grandmother's slogan, El que quiere puede, I told our attorney, let's move forward and appeal the U.S. Patents and Trademarks decision. I remember being nervous but determined. Our attorney researched and presented various U.S. legal cases and decisions to defend the use of LP in Latina professionals. It seemed like an eternity waiting to hear from the U.S. Patent and Trademarks Office. Then they finally sent their response. My attorney left me a voicemail. Rafael, I have some news regarding our application with the U.S. Patent and Trademarks Office. Please call me. When I spoke to her, she said, Rafael, congratulations, we did it. Latina Professionals is now a registered trademark, just like Apple, Amazon, and Nike. That moment, I felt like I was on top of the world. What makes this all even so special, even more special, is I hand-selected the attorney that I work with. Her name is Taylor Tiemann, and she's a Latina. I will leave you with one final thought. Pursue what you love with everything you got, and don't worry about the how, but focus on the why. Because in my grandmother's words, el que quiere, puede. Thank you very much for listening and allowing me to share the story and the origins of Latina professionals.